When you pick up a cordless drill on sale at the hardware store, you are making a binding financial commitment. You are buying into a proprietary battery platform. Manufacturers ensure this loyalty through design. They deliberately mold the plastic housings on their batteries with unique ridges and rails, so they only slide into their specific tools. Inside that plastic shell is the Battery Management System, or BMS. This microchip dictates how the battery and the tool communicate to prevent overheating. This flowchart illustrates how your initial purchase scales over time. You start with one battery and a drill, but that single power source soon branches out to dictate which circular saw, string trimmer, or work light you can buy. That first relatively cheap drill forces a choice down the road: stay loyal to one brand forever, or endure the cost and friction of managing completely incompatible chargers and battery packs.
It is tempting to try and bypass this trap by buying cheap, third-party plastic adapters online to click one brand's battery into a competing brand's tool. The problem is that these adapters only bridge the physical metal power contacts. They completely sever the digital connection to the battery management system. Without the BMS monitoring temperatures, a heavy workload will draw power until the cells overheat, causing a highly volatile reaction called thermal runaway. Attempting to cheat the manufacturer's ecosystem puts you in direct physical danger from a battery fire and immediately voids every warranty you have. The tool aisle presents a massive wall of supposedly competing colors, but most of those distinct brands belong to the exact same megacorporations. Stanley Black & Decker is a prime example. They own DeWalt, Black & Decker, Craftsman, Mac Tools, Porter Cable, and as this image shows, the specialized framing nailers made by Bostitch. Their corporate footprint covers the consumables too, taking profits every time you buy replacement accessories like these Irwin saw blades. To separate these sister brands and justify different prices, marketing departments rely heavily on a specific myth: the 20-volt max rating versus the standard 18-volt rating. This diagram shows a standard battery's architecture. Labeled 18-volt or 20-volt max, it contains 5 identical lithium-ion cells. Resting, each cell holds 4.2 volts, peaking at 21 volts, rounded to 20-volt max. Under load, output drops to 3.6 volts. 5 times 3.6 is 18 volts. Every 20-volt max tool actually runs at 18 nominal volts. Paying extra for a 20-volt badge over an 18-volt tool yields zero actual power advantage. Since the battery chemistry is identical across the board, manufacturers differentiate their price tiers through internal motor engineering and physical heat tolerances. This vintage Black & Decker kit illustrates their history in the entry-level consumer space. Today, these tools still rely on older brushed motor technology. Brushed motors operate with physical carbon contacts rubbing against a commutator. That mechanical friction generates heat, and if pushed into a continuous heavy-duty cycle, the motor will eventually melt itself. Premium professional tools discard the brushes entirely. They use microprocessors to optimize electromagnetic fields, eliminating friction, and pair that with high-capacity packs like DeWalt's FlexVolt. When you drop a 15-cell FlexVolt battery into a 60-volt tool, internal actuators mechanically slide and snap the wiring contacts, shifting the cells from a parallel circuit into a series circuit. That on-the-fly rewiring allows a cordless tool to drop corded equivalent power, so you can mix heavy concrete or frame thick structural timber without searching for an outlet. Manufacturers engineer physical friction into cheap tools while reserving mechanical flexibility for high-end models, effectively forcing you into a specific price bracket. At the very top of the market are highly specialized industrial ecosystems. Mechanics who buy off trucks like this one operate in extreme, solvent-heavy environments. A standard plastic tool housing will physically crack, swell, and degrade when repeatedly exposed to hot engine oils, brake cleaners, and hydraulic fluids. Mac Tool solves this by building their housings out of specialized, oil-resistant, glass-filled nylon. And since they are owned by Stanley Black & Decker, they uniquely allow their tools to run on standard DeWalt batteries. At the highest industrial tiers, you're paying for chemical survival and the convenience of cross-platform battery compatibility, rather than just raw speed. Navigating the power tool market requires matching your personal operational duty cycle to the manufacturer's engineered tier.
If you are a novice DIYer, your tasks are likely limited to occasionally assembling flat-pack furniture or mounting a lightweight shelf on drywall. For this profile, the entry-level tier is appropriate. The Black & Decker 20V Power Connect system provides enough power for basic indoor repairs. This minimizes your upfront capital costs and storage space, though it restricts your ability to expand into high-draw tools like lawnmowers or circular saws later. Next is the prosumer, or dedicated homeowner. You tackle weekend renovation projects, seasonal yard maintenance, and moderate structural repairs. These users should invest in mid-tier platforms like the Craftsman V20 or Ryobi systems, which utilize better motors and thicker plastics. This tier offers a balance of price and broad tool variety, even if it lacks the raw, sustained torque necessary to survive on a commercial job site. Finally, there is the professional, executing commercial contracting, heavy industrial renovations, or high-volume carpentry. This requires the premium tiers, specifically DeWalt XR or the FlexVolt platforms, engineered with brushless motors and maximum heat dissipation. This scorecard summarizes the final trade-off. The professional tier guarantees extreme runtime and PLAFT secondary market support, but it demands a massive upfront financial commitment. The most efficient purchase matches the ecosystem to your actual workload, ensuring you avoid paying a pro-level premium for a tool that just sits in the closet.